science, baby.
What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. What's happening? What's going on? What's happening, fam? You know, L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail. This is going to be a little interesting. So for all y'all, it's going to be chill, but it's probably going to be intense. You know, I was actually busy then. I'm sorry for not replying last night. It was a long night, so my apologies, Shug. I actually wound up looking today, you know, because it was about the show with Ike and whatnot, if I'm not mistaken. So I apologize. If you see the thumbnail is Floyd Mayweather. Oh shit! Okay, I got to double check, girl. My apologies. You know, what's up, everybody? So if you see the thumbnail, that's Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Victor Ortiz. And in that fight, I was doing a podcast during the time called Cheap Seats Boxing Show. It's still on iTunes. Me and my coworker, my co-host, great tandem. And basically, Victor Ortiz was getting beat. He was getting schooled. So he lost it and headbutted Floyd Mayweather in the corner, not in the middle of the ring. Got a point deducted. When he got that point deducted, then he wanted to be all friendly and huggy-dovey, and I'm sorry. And then they met in the middle of the ring, touched gloves. He was still trying to, I'm sorry. And Floyd stuck him. He two-pieced him, knocked him out. Really knocked him down, but he just didn't want to get up. He was disoriented or whatever. And then people were like, you know, what Floyd Mayweather Jr. did was dirty. And other people were like, protect yourself at all times. Besides, if you do something dirty, you might want to expect it to get dirty back because you've already crossed the line of a fair fight. And for me, from that moment on, you know, because of the wide range of people covering the scenario, I saw more people saying what Floyd did was dirty over what Victor Ortiz did that was dirty. I saw people excusing it. You know, and I'm like, y'all soft, man. Y'all soft, y'all being weak, you know. And what wound up happening was I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, what did we become? Like, what did we become as people? And I just had to say, soft, full of it, weak people. And society got weak. And what wound up happening, me and my lady was having this conversation about how people pick targets to bully. They pick soft targets, but you might pick a person who's really gonna take it all the way there. And then when you pick a person that's gonna take it all the way there, then all of a sudden, my bad, hold up, slow down. Yo, wait a minute, it's not like that. And part of what got me to make this live, because it was like a last minute thing, was looking at an amalgamation of videos of people who, you know, who made statements. Like I saw Mr. Let Go make a statement. He was like, you know, men need to be conquerors like Russia. And I'm like, and in my mind, I'm like, Russia just invaded a country that wasn't bothering it, really. But if that's a conqueror, then I can just run into somebody's house, guns blazing, and say, look, I'm being a conqueror here. And I thought about American history and American society and how America is taught And truth be told, the way America is taught, like America did a lot of conquering, but truth is, America befriended a lot of people and stabbed them in the back. That's how this country came to be. Befriend the Indians, stab them in the back. Go to Africa, befriend the Africans, stab them in the back. See, that's how Africa went from being in the slave trade to being colonized, stabbed in the back. But more so, American society is one of, yo, I'm gonna tell you what's smart. What's smart is you get all of these groups of people to conspire against a person, and then we could jump this person, and then you see how smart we are. We're tactical. Oh my God. Oh yeah. But in my mind, you're weak. See, if you're so powerful, you'll go take it. If you really wanted it that bad, no, we can't take it. We have to pay off a judge and pay a couple of lawyers and pay off a couple of cops to cover our tracks. Because what if we miss on this mission and this person goes berserk and they come to get us? We're gonna need levels of protection to get in the way of revenge. Or if we sit at the table with these people, we could play stupid. Like, that's so bad what happened to you. Oh my God. I cannot believe it's such a tragedy. And it's like, you weak. At the end of the day, you weak. And you staying weak. And you playing around being weak. And what's the problem with this is you got a bunch of, now we've raised a weak nation. And a weak nation spreads to other nations who figure out doing weak things are okay. It's all right to lie, to get what you want out of a person. It's all right to manipulate. It's all right to steal from a person. It's all right to pay another person to do another person wrong because you don't want that person to find out it was you that did it. And it's like, man, you weak. So you playing dirty. And one of the things, I did a video and I used Tyreek, which if anybody watched Power, that would be Ghost Son Tyreek. But there's a scene in Power season 2 where everybody that Tyreek either killed or got killed kind of come together and say, see how you don't play fair. And truth be told, Tyreek character, he's a weak person. And he knows he's weak and he doesn't try to fix being weak. So he just doubles down on double crossing and manipulating. Because every time it's time to, really get at somebody, he don't do it. Like he kind of cowers and scurries. It doesn't sit well with him to actually have to be face to face. And what I noticed along the way was a lot of our American culture gravitates to that. Don't bring a knife to a gunfight. So what happens when the people who decided to bring a gun to a fight in the first place, we're gonna say it's a knife fight, but I'm gonna bring a gun. Yeah. Because I'm smart. No, you weak. See, we used to have this saying back in the day when I was younger. You think you're strong because you can pull a trigger. That just means you're scared to actually face the person that you really got to beef with. That's why you brought a gun in the first place, because you're scared of them. And if you brought a gun for them and they didn't bring a gun for you, that's telling. And I know people say, respect the shooter, not the person that gets shot. Well, if the shooter is shooting a person who never shot at them, not respectable. It's not. Because that just means, you scared of that action. You scared that this person might wind up actually doing something to you that you can't handle, and society became weak. You know what I'm saying? So now we're playing this game, you know, of the strong society, and I'm like, where? Because now a lot of what I've seen over the years is a lot of weak people make what they feel like a power moves, or what they think a power moves, by hiding behind somebody in a powerful position. And what I mean by that is, if you go throw a rock and hide your hand, and then we figure out you threw the rock and you calling the cops, then, but you go, I'm smart. If you're gonna pick a fight with somebody, you're gonna antagonize them and disrespect them, and for some odd reason, like, go the extra mile to let them know what you really do to them, and they really show up, and you go, oh, I'm calling the police. That's what anybody would do. Whoa, hold up. So you pick the fight to call the cops, and because the cops show up in your favor, that's what we doing. You know what I'm saying? That's strength. That's smart. That's intelligent. So I'm like, no, you weak. You know what I'm saying? That's weak, very weak. And then, looking back at it, I'm hearing things in the sense of, I was listening to the, I didn't watch it all because I like watching Drink Champs. And I was listening to the game talk about part of his beef with 50 Cent. And I'm like, okay, so you went to New York and you was kicking over people he was beefing with, and you didn't know. Understandable. So you get on the radio and you take a stance that, 50 didn't like. Understandable too. And he says, look, and 50 Cent goes to the radio station and says, I'm kicking him out of jail. And then you drive up to the radio station deep with guys with guns, and you get into a shootout over that. But you don't understand where it actually, and 50 Cent like, where the heck did this go left? And they can say, look, man, because you didn't inform him of the beefs that you had with who, because he was just rapping and enjoying rap life. But so you didn't inform him. He was in New York, he was kicking the people that you wasn't cool with at the time, and kind of, you by proxy got in the mix. And you can also say that, Game decided, man, if this guy put you on, you went to a whole other coast, to his home city, and then started shooting at the guy that put you on, because, a radio conversation with that. And you don't know why he ain't rocking with you no more? Or it took over a decade to even have a conversation with you? That's not a good mindset. You should know exactly why he's not rocking with you. But this is what I mean by society being weak. And for some odd reason, we had this little thing going on where I could do whatever I want. But if it affects you and you got a problem with it, you can't do whatever you want in response. And that becomes the crux of this issue. See, if you want to fight, if you want to have a fair fight, that's one. Shoot a fair one in any type of way, that's one thing. Because people are like, we playing for keeps. It's war. Yeah, we're playing for keeps out here. It's adult world. It's war. But just like in history, people implement new technologies in war when they know they can't win. See what I'm saying? Oh man, we're gonna fight these guys. They got swords. We got swords, but they got better swordsmen. So, what we gonna do? I got an idea. We're gonna get some archers. Cool, cool, cool. And we're gonna wrap their arrows in fire. Oh, okay, that's dope. That's dope. And we're gonna shoot the fire at them because we don't want no parts of them coming up and fighting us. We have to kill some. We have to burn a few people because that's the only way we're gonna actually win this one. Burn some people. Well, you know what I'm saying. I'd rather be the winner than the loser. Okay, all right. And then people say, "Man, they won. That was a great tactic." Was it? Why would you start a war with somebody that you knew you couldn't beat, and then go at the last minute? Let me just, you know, they're looking for a traditional war, and you did something crazy. I remember, what is that movie with Tom Hardy? Was a gangster. I came here for a proper gunfight. You know, so people are showing up for one thing, and you make it about something else. Uh-oh. So that's a whole nother story. Then you go so on and so forth in history. Okay, these are the people that shoot fire. So we're gonna have to do something for their fire, and we're gonna have to add something to the mix because they're not to be trusted. And then you up it a notch, you up it a notch, you up it a notch, you up it a notch. And then guns come into play. Now we got the archers, we got the guys with the swords, we got the guys with the spears, we got the horses, we got the elephants, lions, tigers, bears. Oh my, we got all this stuff on the battlefield now because we already know if we're going to war, it's not going to be a fair fight because the people coming here realize, they're coming here to play dirty anyways. They say that they're powerful. Jesus. So now what winds up happening is we're at that point where you got all these things and you still can't win. So we're going to go get some guns. What are guns? Guns are things that if we put ball bearings in them, we could just shoot people down. And the guns don't work. Use or it's too close with the guns. We got to get cannons, big, big, big guns. So I already talked about that. Being frank, yes, I already talked about that, fam. That's my exact point. That is my exact point. But we got to get cannons now. Why are we getting cannons? Because the guns is just they still killing us with the guns. I just can't do it. So now people got cannons, and now people got cannons. That's a whole nother thing. And then you escalate to planes and bombs, bombs, missiles, and then you wind up, with the atomic bomb. You're gonna drop it. Yeah, we won. It's like that's winning. But then using Pearl Harbor as a reference, Japan attacked America out of the blue. So all bets is off about doing something proper, right? Doing something proper. And when we're in society, this is what happens over and over and over again. People start problems, they escalate problems, they create problems. I was thinking about when I talked about, the quote unquote gangbanger in the Black community from the 70s, to in the beginning, 70s, 80s, and how it evolved to what it is now in 2020. How, if guys who fought to guys who shoot now. You know what I'm saying? They don't fight. Guys who wasn't scared to fight, guys who's so scared to fight that they'll shoot anything moving to not get hit. And that means it's a weak society. Because these same guys get, if they get locked up, they go to jail, there's no guns in prison. And like you see like one of the rappers that just got locked up, he just got stabbed and now he won't out. It's like, listen, man. You talked as hard as you could on wax. And now all of a sudden, you scared for your life because you can't defend yourself? Because you don't have a bunch of goons and guns and security and a gang to hide behind. Now it's just you. And it ain't no fun when a rapper got the gun. So this creates a weak society. And this goes in every aspect of society. This is why, when people were saying that, people abuse their authority, people say people, who didn't have quote unquote power in their life try to have a lust for power. But what they mean by power normally is they want to put themselves in a position to basically dictate another human being's life because because somebody dictated, another human being dictated the terms of their life, and somebody got a kick out of that. And this is what I mean by a weak society, because we're trying to say we have for leaders, but truth is people are not looking to be leaders, because leaders, quote unquote, air quotes, empower people. We're wanting people, we're wanting to support people who don't empower people, but oppress people. I don't want you to get ahead in life. I don't want you to win in life. I just want you to do just enough, just enough. What's happening, fam? To be a part of my agenda, and I want to keep you there. I don't want to give you the game and the information to make you better. I want to keep you right here. And if it's hurting you, if it's suffering you, if it's putting you behind in life, so be it. Because it makes me feel better. It makes me richer. And I thought about it. I was like, what's interesting about that is I never believed in that. I read the 48 Laws of Power, read The Art of War. They were my favorite books years and years and years ago. And I always had an issue with, and if you ever read the 48 Laws of Power in its entirety, what's happening? It's a lesson and a story and a bunch of side stories about the law itself. And then when you finish the law, there's a reversal, how you can reverse it on a person. And all of the law and the stories and all that are long compared to the reversal. The reversal might be 2 paragraphs, literally. And if you read the whole book, you come to find out he's teaching you the laws of power, because the laws of power nowadays are manipulation. It's manipulation. It's how to manipulate your way into quote unquote power and quote unquote to be superiority in another facet. But the problem is power is an illusion. And why I say power is an illusion, because when people who want to fight dirty, they're not powerful people in the first place, because the minute you got to fight dirty with somebody, you lost. The minute you have to implement dirty tactics, that's because you can't beat that person or those people. It's not because, oh man, if you crush an enemy, you crush them completely because that's the law of power. No, you did all that stuff because you're scared to death. And you're so scared, that you would rather do something dirty, because if I live in the end, that mean I won. Unfortunately, you won and made yourself a target. And this is what a lot of people don't realize. You can fight dirty with a person and win because you fought dirty, and make yourself a target to the people who are like, oh, that's how you get down. No problem. That's where we going. I got no problem with that. No holds barred, no rules, dirty fight. I appreciate you showing your hand and say that you got no honor, no integrity, and you're willing to do anything, not within reason to win, but outside of within reason to quote unquote win. Oh, you're willing to lie, cheat, manipulate, hunt down somebody's family and their children. You're willing to do anything. You're willing to hold a baby hostage. You're willing to do anything. Okay. Understood. And part of what I mean when I was saying power is an illusion is because the illusion is very simple. The illusion is when you say somebody is powerful, you're saying their position is powerful. You're not scared of that person. You're scared of what that person's position can do to you. Because that person is just a name. The position that they hold is what you're oh heck. Okay. The position that they hold is what you're tripping about. All right, sorry about that. Thanks, fam. Like the position that they hold is what you scared. Like most people aren't scared of the police. They're not scared of the officer if you ever got pulled over. You're not scared of that person or them and their partner. But you're scared of the police force, the lawyers and judges, the prison, the jail, what they'll all do to you if you even defended yourself and won against a police officer who picked a fight with you and they happen to lose. You're gonna go to jail for assaulting an officer, even if they swung first. See what I'm saying? They could swing first and it's not self-defense. And of course, if that goes all the way down, to the point where you get in prison, what winds up happening is you're in prison and corrections officers can beat you up because, oh, you touched the cop, you go into jail. The cops in the jail can beat you up because, oh, you touched the cop. Nobody's gonna care that, hey man, y'all all fighting dirty. Because they can know that the officer in question is the kind of person who picks fights with use their badge as a weapon. They don't care. As long as you get thrown under the bus and they make an example out of you, you're the example not to get into a fight with the police, even if they swing on you first. I'm not saying, so that's what people are afraid of. They're afraid of all of those things culminating together, which is multiple people in a group and in the system who are all on one page when it comes to throwing a person under the bus if they're under the bus. I was just using the police as an example. There's plenty of different examples, but like I could say that's the same thing when people talk about being black and white supremacy. You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing, man. All right, appreciate. This is the Dusty channel, man. I appreciate you. Good and terrible. Me and Randy Wise. Thanks, fam. We could use that same example with white supremacy. No black person is actually scared of a white person. But we know, if we get into it with a white person, they're gonna play the race card with other white people, and those people are gonna get on code with that race card. So you're not scared of the person. You just like, oh man, here we go. All these people get on code and lie. Even if this is on camera, they'll erase the footage, and they'll hit me up and throw me under the bus, and then 30 years later, I'm going to heaven and I'm so sorry about what I did. Because that's acceptable in society, which means society, so that makes society weak. And then when people go, well, this is the greatest nation, the greatest world, and it's like, but this goes beyond America, because every country you go into has this problem where, you have a population who you have this class warfare. And the thing about the class warfare is you got people not wanting another class to succeed, because they like stuff. So the goal is, if we're in the upper class, if you work your way to the upper class, I need you to forfeit your lower class and middle class status, your status, family and friends, relationships, friendships, this, that, and the third. And I need you to fight to stay in this upper class. So I need you to help me in this upper class, make sure no more people like you that come from the middle and lower class get up here. I need you to be on my team to make this harder, because we can't have all these people here. They can't have all these amenities. They can't have this good life. Why would you want to share all of this and have more rich people? So it should only be so many rich people and so many people who are financially free in this game. No. We have to have a game built on people owing people. You got to help me make sure these people are in a bad position. It's like, why would that be? Well, you know, you know what? Thanks for reminding me about that, Rocky. I had some wrap snacks. I was eating them. They're in the kitchen right now. So if all y'all, I got the notorious big ones. The what is that? Honey jalapeno. I don't even like anything hot, but they ain't actually hot. They're more cool and hot. Like it's not barbecue, but it's barbecue-esque. They pretty dope, man. Every pack of wrap snacks I've ever eaten was pretty dope. I haven't had a bad one yet. And if I had a bad one, I would say it was bad. But I just list the best ones to me. But thanks for saying that. Yeah, man. Get the bag by any means necessary. And it's funny because that made the society weak. Because if you have to get money by any means, why are you hiding? How can you go about the ideology? I'm gonna get money, by any means necessary. But at the same time, what's up, chaos? But at the same time, I don't want you to get money by any means necessary. I want to be ruthless with the world, but but if you become ruthless with me, I'm a victim. And it's like, see, this is what I mean by fighting dirty created a weak society, because now all of a sudden I can't bust you upside your head the way you can bust me upside mine. So it's crazy. Absolutely, man. you know. So now it's like, come on, yo. And what you see, and part of this posturing and positioning in society is really based on this idea that, here we go, boy, message mania. Um, Part of this is always based on this thing where we're living in a society where, you know, appreciate it, John. We're living in a society where, I'm supposed to be able to steal on you, but I'm supposed to be able to call a group of people to jump you when you turn around and swing on me, which is weak. It's just too weak, and people, but society comes together with the belief that, yeah, man, how dare you, if you're bigger and stronger, you're more, or people fear you for whatever reason, you should never hit back a person who hit you for no reason. And it's like, this is why, somebody needs to lock that man up for beating that man up that stole on him for no reason. It's like, what? No, that's actually self-defense. Like, it's all right. He deserved it. He deserved what he got. And that's what he get. But we want to play this game over and over and over and over again. And the game is, and I'm gonna use a childhood, a Lion King reference. Everybody want to be a lion, but the vast majority of the society is built like Scar. See, Scar is a winner in American society. Scar is a winner in the world with the mass society. Because that's how you do it. That's how you do it. You take advantage of your opportunity. Yeah. You set somebody up, you line them up, and you take advantage of the opportunity. That's winning. It's like, oh, okay. And then you make all of these alliances to stay in your position of power. Because you don't want any opposition. And it's weird because people don't really want to be quote unquote powerful at all. That's not what they want. To me, like, if you ever read the Bible, that's part of the story of David. forgot, I think King Saul was like, you know, a child, he heard the prophecy, a child was going to be born and he was going to rule over this. So he out there trying to kill kids. That's the same thing with um, kind of with Moses and Pharaoh. That's the same thing that happened with Jesus. Like, hey man, that's why Jesus wound up being, being born in Bethlehem and living in Egypt because of a prophecy. And people were like, listen, man, we got to get rid of all these kids, man, because, we can't have somebody come along because, See, that's not power. That's weak people. When you know, you don't realize our society is built just like that. When you think of the government, the American government, and we as Black people think about how the government has an issue with Black people in general, and they don't want another Messiah to come around. That's what killing all the leaders in the '60s and somewhat '70s was about. That's what killing Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Medgar Evers and Fred Hampton and Alfred King, which is Martin Luther King's brother. That's what all of that was about. That's what locking up the Black Panthers for life was about. Killing the other Black Panthers who, sometimes go nameless. That's what all of that was about. But you don't take it as far as, what do you think's happening when the government goes into these other countries and starts these coups and pays for these insurrections and make sure these leaders get killed and assassinated because they don't want a quote unquote Messiah abroad either. And we call that peacekeeping. Peace for who? Peace for who? That's the question, fam. That's the question. So now we're living in a world where being weak and soft is okay. See, I can fight dirty with you because it's okay if you don't even see it coming. If I got an issue with you, I'm supposed to play like I don't have an issue with you. So when I attack you, you don't see it coming. And that's what I'm talking about. No, that's soft. What happened to just say, hey, we got a problem, we're gonna handle it. Nah, we're not gonna do that. Because anybody who's ever been in any type of confrontation or conflict, there are very few people that could be calm the whole way, who are chill, because, but you get accustomed to that feeling if you know there's an altercation that's imminent. You're like, all right, man, it is what it is. Let's do it. I'm gonna prepare for winning, and I'm gonna prepare for the worst. So I'm prepared for it to be fair, and I'm willing to take it all the way left if it's unfair. And the thing about the generational thing that came over the years is you've seen society get softer and softer and softer and softer and softer as far as integrity, character, ethics, morals, and you see, and even when you get on these social media sites, you see how people can band together on doing something that some people will view as suspect or sucker stuff, and other people will be like, that's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like this guy or this girl so much, I'm willing to lie on them. And people can come together on a lie. Like, what was that show? The Wire. When a big man, I think it was Slim, was talking to, I forget if it was Avon or Stringer's character. He's like, man, if we got to go to war on a lie, then, man, let it be a lie, man. Because, part of the society is built like the streets, because the streets talk, and you got to respond if the streets talking. You got to make sure you don't look weak in these streets. And the thing about looking strong sometimes is, how can you look strong in a weak society? when all the weaklings are going to come together and play victim. That's a problem, Rocky. That's a problem. And I remember talking about that in the video. A lot of us cheat ourselves. If I cheat myself, I'm definitely going to cheat you. And I don't have a problem with that. I'm not saying I have a problem. I'm not saying I don't, but I'm just using the words as a reference. If I can lie to myself, I don't have a problem lying to you. And if it benefits me to lie to myself, in my opinion, there are a lot of quote unquote successful people that have lied to themselves and lied their way into the positions they're in, and they're willing to lie to keep it. And they're willing to cheat people to keep it. And they're willing to make you stand on a rule that they break on a regular basis to keep it. And that's a nice little game people play. It's an unfortunate game, but it's a game nonetheless. And what I find interesting about that is we got a society that's literally playing a game in their heads with other human beings that don't know them. And those people think, when those people find out that they're using them as a pawn in their own little game, they think they're just gonna lay down. It's like, yo, you might make this go bad. Like, I'll say it this way. If you ever, we all are adults. If you ever, society is like driving on the interstate. Or driving 20 or 30 minutes plus away from where you stay. You can look in your rearview mirror, you can look to your right, to your left. You can look in front of you. And you can literally see the drivers who are in a movie in their mind. I'm gonna cut this person off, and I'm gonna cut that person off, and I'm not gonna use a blinker. You know what I'm saying? I'm all the way in the left lane. The exit is right here, but I'm gonna cut through 3 or 4 lanes of traffic at the last minute because I got it like that. Oh man, I'm gonna stop. So you willing to risk everybody's life because you just want to be reckless. Interesting. But when you hit somebody, then all of a sudden, if they get out the car and they beat the living brakes off of you, then I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on. That's where we live at. You can see it. You can see it in people's decision making. When they say, hey man, listen, I know I can't beat you, but I'm gonna make decisions that affect you. But if I make a decision that affects you and it blows back onto you and you're gonna come for me, I'm gonna already be 2 steps ahead of you. What's up, Rich? I'm gonna be 2 steps ahead of you by telling somebody something about you that isn't true, so they'll get at you while you get it at me. This is why you hear a lot of people telling half truths and half stories, because they're trying to create, they're trying to create a conflict so you can be their simp in shining armor. Because this is how people fight dirty. I use this person, I lie to this person, so when this person that I use finds out that I used them and they come for me, they'll be in a beef with that person. And it'll give me time, and they might even turn on the person that they told to lie to. And once a beef started, So it's like, society got weak. You hear all the man talking, masculinity talking, and when men talk this, that men have a discord with each other. There's always a threat of violence, but unfortunately, you hear that a lot from men who don't have a history of being violent. Mitch, what's happening, fam? He's getting into it about that narcissist thing. It's all love, though. Um, that when you see that, it's like, if there's always a threat of low level violence, you know, if there's always a threat of low level violence, how come you, you don't exude that? You know, as far as how come your life doesn't say that? And I find it interesting because even the way that women interact with men is the same way that men interact. When people think that women, are unscrupulous and have no morals and ethics, and feminism, in my opinion, and I did a video about this a long, long time ago, feminism just followed the business model of racism. So when you see how feminists and feminism acts towards men, all it looks like to me is the way that white America acts towards Black America. It takes every little dig, shortcut that it could possibly take to get in position to win at quote unquote all costs. But then somehow, when it all goes bad, you get to my brother, we're all in this together. We're all Americans. It's like, nah, I'm not with you on that. Nah, we're not playing that game today. You made your bed, you gotta lay in it, right? And this is why I'm saying what I'm saying about society became weak, because even though even in our community, and in the larger scope of things, you say the kids are soft because they're raised in single mother households, and they take shortcuts and easy ways out because they're coddled. You're basically saying modern day children or children raised by single mothers are raised like white people, white kids, coddled, spoiled, and always using somebody else as the villain to their effort, and which makes the society weak. Because think about it, when we talk about competing and competition, you notice every time America can't necessarily be people have a problem with America being a democracy now that the population numbers are changing. Now it's not a democracy because now it shouldn't be a meritocracy. No, it shouldn't be a meritocracy, because if it's a meritocracy, that would mean the best people win. And let's be honest, America never wanted the best people to win. They wanted the whitest people to win. They didn't want the best of the best. They wanted the whitest of the population. That's it. So, which made society weak. I used to talk about this when people bring up slavery. I used to have this conversation where slavery happened, and whether you know it or not, Black men were the ones enslaved for the vast majority of slavery. So Black men were in slavery here probably 150 years before the women came. The women came in the last like 80, 85 years or whatever. But the thing about it was people weren't living to be 100 and be slaves. These people were dying, at 30 something years old. Nobody asked the question about if Black men were here for hundreds of, over 100 years, where were their women at? How did they keep reproducing these men if only a certain, population, like 3 to 5% of people from Africa actually came to the United States of America? So how you get all these people? That's where they go with that argument that people are already here. But how do you keep producing individuals is the question. That's where the breeding and all that comes from, right? So I use that reference to say this. People change history to make themselves feel good. this is where we have this critical race theory talk. I don't, it's stupid in my opinion, but it is what it is. Because America, most of America is stupid in my opinion, and that is what it is. But what it all boils down to at the end of the day is slavery lasted in America because of guns in prisons. To say somebody's in slavery, how were people enslaved so long? Because people had guns. Don't like it's the same when people talk about the Holocaust. That's why it's people look at the Nazis like punks now, because you strip people of all of their tools to defend themselves, and you walked around with guns and tried to starve them and say that they were weak. But so you don't if you got 3 people with guns and 100 overworked and underfed people, guess who's gonna win? If you got weapons that can mow people down, like even if they reach for so many guns, only so many people are gonna win, and the other people are already gonna be locked down. You're not gonna let, think about it. If you have 100 soldiers and 1,000 people, you're only gonna be moving, maybe 50 to 100 people at a time. All of them not gonna be free. See what I'm saying? So, and that's the same thing with slavery. That's the same thing with prisons. It's a reason why prisons can't, people in jail can't escape in mass, because they're not allowed to necessarily be in mass like that. And if they're in mass, they're like in a hot box, which every gun is pointed at everybody, and you can mow them all down at once. But people forget that's how people got the idea that I'm more powerful than you, because you're in a situation that's going to take some extreme amount of superpower to get out. So now you got to be cunning. You know what I'm saying? Now you got to think outside of the box, because 20 people can't beat 10 people with guns. It's just not realistic. But the 10 people with the guns can't walk around going like, saying, I'm the man. How you the man? Because they know what I do to them. They know you're shooting. That's right. Put the gun down and fight them. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that, because, okay, what if they get the gun? My brother. I didn't think you had weapons too. Like we got to talk this out like men. We got to talk this out like men now. You don't have to be so violent, brother. And this is why I'm saying what I'm saying, because people have this dual personality of being the predator and the prey, because I'm only the predator when I got an upper hand. But what if we both have the same hand now? That's not what we asking for. And it's like, oh, okay, I get it. You soft. No, I'm not soft. You definitely soft. I saw Gilly the Kid, from $1 Million Worth of Game. That's what people know him for now, but he's a rapper. Major Figures, I want to say. But he was talking about how you young ladies are getting caught up in crime nowadays, because you're using your beauty to set guys up to get killed. And once you put yourself in that position, you become a street dude. So now, if you're getting somebody robbed and possibly killed to defend themselves, you can get shot too. There's no chivalry in that. Like, yeah, I set you up and they might kill you, but I'm a woman, don't shoot me. That's not how it goes. See, playing dirty made society weak, because now you thought you could play dirty and back out And that's not what you're doing. Like I talk about this because when I was younger, you see a lot of young people and a lot of grown people who like jumping off the porch and and getting themselves into aggressive situations, let's say that. And when they do that, they want to get out of jail free card. And it's like, nah. Like we knew when I was younger, yo, once you jump off the porch, you're off the porch. I don't care if you're 10, 11, 12, 13. You know, if y'all watch the movie ATL, you know, when Big Boy rode up on Evan Ross, you know, what I tell you, this is grown man business, boy. You know, that's the truth. That's the absolute truth. It's grown man business. So you can't hop in and hop out at your convenience because, you know, it got too hot. And that's what I'm saying, how society got soft. Hope to appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Wow. It's like, that's where we at. You know, you seeing more and more people, you know, um, snitching and ratting and even and I'm using crime as a reference because America was pretty much built off of crime. And even when you get around people who do the thing where um what's up, Trey? Even when you do the thing about let's say Italians and Irish and Jewish people and other and white people, you know, they're all connected to the police. Even when people talk about the cartels are, for you know, a lot of them are plugged in with the government. So this idea that people are really criminals and they getting it like that and they're outlaws, it's not true. They work with the cops. Like there's no difference when you watch Snowfall and you see Franklin working for the feds. You know, it's the same thing. That's what everybody else has been doing. Working with the government, working with the police. Everybody's been a snitch and informant, you know. So that's not being um, that's not being an outlaw. That's just being stupid. You know, that's being fake and fraudulent. You playing dirty, telling other people to be real. You know, don't snitch. You're not, you know, don't be a snitch. But you're not saying, you know, if you're not black, if you're white or Hispanic, you can snitch on somebody that's black because hey, they're not in the group. So you can snitch. So you can be a snitch, right? But that one doesn't count. No, it counts. They're criminals. You're a criminal. You snitched on a criminal. You know, don't tell me. But now when people get mad, you know, other people should get snitched on, and it's a problem, right? I mean, I have nothing to say about that, really. I really don't. I mean, it happens everywhere. That happens everywhere. I mean, if it was the same Africans that were calling, you know, us names and in America, that'd be different. But you know, for that situation in Ukraine, truth be told, that might be more of a lesson to the Africans who might have family members over there. They might be in the U.S. and they're like, oh wow, you know, wow. We're saying these people are like this and these people like that, and this is how it all goes down even in the middle of a war. Yeah, that's what it is. But you gotta understand something. There's videos of women in the Ukraine throwing Molotov cocktails at tanks. And people ain't playing. They a whole lot. They bought that action for real. Um, you know, that's what happens. That's a problem that's gonna be handled on its own. You know, my personal opinion about that war is I think Russia is just creating a reason for America um, to get involved. So America could attack the Russian soldiers in the Ukraine to defend Ukraine per se, and then Russia and China could jump the United States of America. There you go. You got to remember. And I made a video about it. It came out today or yesterday about Eric Snowden. Eric Snowden is in Russia. All the military secrets that Eric Snowden had that he brought with him abroad, he brought them to Russia. And all the technology stuff brought them to Russia. I'm sure they shared it with China. I'm sure they well prepared for some action with the U.S. you know, so to me it's just a setup, and that's the part of actually part of the video. Um, it probably informed Russia and China how dirty America could be. So now they're just being dirty in an American fashion, and now people are having an issue. And I'm like, it is what it is, man. Like if you do dirt, you get dirt. You play dirty, you're gonna get a dirty response. So stop acting brand new and using the media. Like, oh man, this is so bad. Is it? Is it? Is it really? Or is it something that America has done plenty of times? You know what I'm saying? Plenty of times. You know. So, Chess man, you hilarious. you know. You know. Historically, my butt. That's what people say about Jerusalem. If you gave it up, gave it up. Now people built it up, and now you want to come steal it. It's like, it's just shenanigans. But you know, but I'm gonna leave it at that because it's about 7 o'clock. I just wanted to speak on that real quick. So thank y'all for coming. I hope I did something proper that y'all can respect. You feel me? And like, share, subscribe, or die. Try and catch y'all on the next one. Now I have a video probably coming out in an hour. So peace.